Hey guys, what's going on? New week, new hero pool. This one's actually pretty solid. We've had a couple of hero predictions going around, made by several people. It looks like Jin's was pretty accurate, at least the first 4 characters. So he kind of had a good assumption, and I was actually hoping that Wrath and HR would be in this pool. So anyway, let's get to the pool. First off, we have Scarlet Siren. So Scarlet Siren's a fighter. She's a ranged fighter. She generally goes in the back row. She can be flexed in the middle as well. She basically just does a lot of damage, and she has decent debuff. She kind of applies these statuses based on whatever. So this is actually pretty cool because this ability actually stacks, and it's decent CC. And then right over here, again, she just does more damage, plus 15% damage, plus might. So again, damage. That's really all Scarlet Siren does. Some of the good combos that she's in are full fighter, actually work pretty well with Scarlet Siren. So people are running like Prophet, Cannon, Siren. You can do Tech Priestess, Cannon, Siren, Glutton, Cannon, Siren, etc. Or you can do mixed APCs. TP, Wrath, Siren is actually a pretty good APC. TP plus Wrath plus pretty much any damage dealer is a really good APC. And so Scarlet Siren kind of fits the bill on that one. And Scarlet can even be ran with Death Rider. So if you really wanted to do some weird mixed APC, you could do like TP, Death Rider, Siren. It's okay. She works well with Prophet. She works well with Glutton. A lot of heroes she works well with. Because she's basically just a solid damage dealer with CC. What more can you ask for? Anyway, let's move on. We have Wrath. So I give Wrath all the praise, always. Top 2 probably hero in the game. Definitely top 3 hero in the game. Currently, TP and Wrath are basically, I don't know. Let's just call them the best 2 heroes in the game. It's kind of hard to say who's first best and who's second, but those 2 are kind of go away from the rest of the pack. So obviously Wrath is a support vehicle hero, but you can place him pretty much anywhere. Generally you want to keep him alive as long as possible because his skills are just so damn good. So put him in the middle or even in the back row works out as well. He actually does decent damage, and his reflecting armor ability is absolutely OP. That basically means he puts on this status onto himself and allies. When they take damage, they gain a stack, and once that stack reaches 9 damages, the 9th damage will be reflected. So if the 9th damage is, I don't know, a Hummingbird 8th skill, and it's supposed to do 12,000 damage, that 12,000 damage will get dealt to Hummingbird herself. So it's really OP. It also has a chance to reset, meaning the next damage is also going to reflect. It's overpowered. And then he also has Troop Recovery Block, which right now in the current meta is fantastic. There's so many healers, Tech Priestess, Glutton, HR, Cannon, etc. There's so many healing heroes, and he actually reduces that healing. So overall, Wrath is just a fantastic hero. For sure, a 4. No questions asked. I forgot to mention it, but Scarlet Siren's definitely a 3. She's good 3. But Wrath is, a 4. And I have mentioned him in the previous pool as well. So if by now you don't know that he's a 4 and he's like the best hero in the game, or one of the best heroes in the game, not sure what to tell you. So anyway, moving on, we have Heaven's Redemption. Heaven's Redemption is actually pretty good. He's seen some resurgence recently with Prophet. He actually works really well with Prophet. He works well against Huntress. So his kind of stock has definitely gone up recently. He's a very solid hero right now. He's a sport vehicle hero. He just kind of supports and does CC. He doesn't really do any damage, but he buffs and CCs the enemy. He buffs his allies and CCs the enemy, so great. Anyway, not really going to talk about Heaven's Redemption too much. He's been around for quite a while. Very solid 3. So these 3 heroes right here alone make this pool very good. We have a great 3. We have honestly, if there was a 5, he'd probably be a 5. And then Heaven's Redemption, another solid 3. Then the second half of the pool kind of drops off significantly. So we have Iron Sentinel. He's a support fighter. Generally, he just goes in the front row. And he kind of just does everything. He buffs like every attribute. He debuffs like pretty much every attribute. He does have troop recovery block, which is cool, I guess. But he just doesn't really do enough to be kind of in the current meta. He adds this splash attack to the back row. Well, potentially the back row, which is nice if you use somebody like Nomad, I guess, or one of the combos that we actually have with him is Crochet. So Iron Sentinel works pretty well with Crochet actually, which is kind of cool. But none of those heroes are really meta heroes at the moment, so they're kind of relegated to the bench. Iron Sentinel overall a low 2 or just a regular 2. Not a terrible hero. If you have him and you don't really have other like support heroes to put in, you can put in Iron Sentinel or front row heroes and he'll do all right. Next up, we have the Betrayed. So the Betrayed is a hero that I've always wanted to do really well. I just like the way he looks. I don't know. I like his kit, but he's just a very, very, very inconsistent hero. And at this point, he's just almost never, ever used really. The Betrayed is he's a ranged archer hero, meaning he's supposed to go in the back row. He can fit in the back row. Generally, you'll put him in the middle, and you'll put somebody like Hummingbird in the back. He kind of has these weird buff system to himself, but it's like a random buff, and that kind of makes him very inconsistent. If it was always Tactical Might, for example, he'd be very, very good, but it's not. And then right here, he kind of gives the back row squad, or he just does damage if the back row squad is about to attack. So you can use it, with whoever you want. But furthermore, right here, he increases the back row's damage for 40%. So that's what you want, like a very, very high damage dealer. Somebody like Hummingbird. Yeah, it would actually be kind of interesting to see if the Betrayed works with Huntress, actually. So Betrayed, Predator, Huntress. He would increase their damage by 40%. Maybe it's good enough. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's probably not. I'm sure somebody's tried it, and it's probably not very good, but might be interesting. In any case, even if it's okay, it's probably not going to be better than Anna. So Betrayed is just a kind of bench warmer as well. He's a decent 2. He's okay. If you have him, you'll probably use him. If you don't have other heroes and he's maxed, you use him, but otherwise he's not a fantastic hero. Valkyrie is the final hero in this pool. She's a support archer hero. She's kind of had her reign as a really good hero, but now she's kind of again on the bench. You can still run her. The tried and true combo with Valkyrie was Valkyrie, Anna, Nomad. Nowadays, you don't really see that too much. It's kind of just a full glass cannon build, and Huntress is sort of just a better version of a glass cannon. So you don't really see Valkyrie used too much. Again, you can use it. If you're using Predator with Huntress, you can go back to Valkyrie and a Nomad. She pretty much just is useful for the first 3 turns. She gives everybody more damage in the first 3 turns, and then the enemy just takes more damage. So really, it's all about that first 3 turns. And if you can wipe out the enemy squad, or at least a squad, then Valkyrie kind of does her job, and then she's just there to sort of die, more or less. Right now, again, that's really the only combo you'll pretty much ever see. Valkyrie does pair well with Inquisitor, which is kind of odd. You can put Valkyrie in the back row. She does pair pretty well. She's also actually been quite good with tiles. You can use her in the back row for tiles because of her second ability. Well, one of the reasons is because of her second ability. She deals 687 to 2 random enemy squads, which is actually a lot, and that's right away. That's on turn 2, pretty much guaranteed damage. So as long as your poison percentage is under 50%, meaning you will last at least 2 rounds, Valkyrie's actually a pretty solid hero to use. And then additionally, they take 50% more damage, which is obviously good, even if it's only one round. This 50% friendly shooter squad damage is nice, so you can use it with shooters, but you don't actually have to use Valkyrie with a shooter, based on they just are guaranteed to take 50% additional, and she will deal quite a bit of damage. So overall, Valkyrie is probably a 2 with kind of some of the new like tile formations. Forcing tiles is actually significantly harder now for whatever reason in Eden conflict or in Eden warfare. So Valkyrie's stock value actually might be raised as well. In that case, I would probably say she's a decent 3. She might even be used in like the best tile combo or the second best tile combo, which is pretty impressive. Not as good as Sven, but she's still pretty decent for a damage dealer. So that's about it for this pool, guys. I mean, it's a pretty interesting pool because the first 3 heroes are absolutely amazing. Not absolutely amazing, that's a little over exaggerated. Wrath is absolutely amazing. Scarlet Siren's nice to have. Heaven's Redemption is very good to have. And then the 3 at the end are meh. Valkyrie for forcing tiles is actually pretty good. So overall, I mean, this pool, it's 3, 4, 3, 2, 2. And I'm going to say 3. Valkyrie gets boosted to a 3 based on her tiling ability right now. I do change my mind on these things. It does change as the meta changes, as the game progresses, more heroes come out, etc., etc. So if we get a shooter hero that does a like crazy damage round 1 or 2 or something, Valkyrie is going to skyrocket. So that's about it for this pool. I would recommend going for this pool. However, you have to consider the number of tickets that you have, and I can't stress this enough because people generally don't listen enough. You want a lot of tickets when you go for pools like this, especially if you don't really have any of these Season X heroes. If you have, let's say, 2 copies of every single one of these heroes and you have 500 tickets, go for it. You'll probably get a copy of Wrath. Automatically, it makes it worth. You'll probably also get a copy of either of these 2. You might even get 2 Wraths. Who knows? It's worth in that case. But if you have 0 copies of all these heroes, please don't use your tickets until you have like 1,000 or something like that. You're just going to end up with 1 or 2 copies of each one of these heroes, and you're kind of just wasting your time. Now, let me talk about the skill order very, very quickly. I'm just going to rush through this and just take my word for it, or don't if you don't want to. For Scarlet Siren, the skill order is her 8th, her 6th, her 7th. For Wrath, the skill order is his 8th, his 6th, his 7th. For Heaven's Redemption, his skill order is his 8th, his 6th, his 7th. For Iron Sentinel, it depends on how you're going to use him. If you use him in the front row, his skill order is 6th, 8th, 7th. If you're going to use him in the middle row, which I generally wouldn't recommend, but you can if you want, his skill order would be 8th, 6th, 7th. For the Betrayed, his skill order is 8th, 6th, 7th. And for Valkyrie, her skill order is 8th, 6th, 7th. So that's about it for the pool, guys. It's a very good pool. I would generally recommend going for it if you have the tickets, just because of Wrath. Honestly, not just because of Wrath, but because Wrath is in there, it makes it a very, very, very good pool. All right, guys, that's about it. Let me know if you go for the pool, how many tickets. As always, people always have questions. Should I go for the pool? Should I not? Please feel free. Leave it in the comments. I'll try to get to it. Otherwise, join the Discord, post it in there, and, have yourselves a hell of a time. So good luck, everybody, if you're going for the pool. If you're not, keep saving. We'll all go for the pools together. All right, man. Take care. Peace and love, baby.